Okay, some of y'all are going to have to do the transformations, the chapter 3, module 3 transformations test all over again. So we've done it twice. This was the original we did. I think we did it in class, and then I sent a redo, but some of us are still struggling with it. So I'm going to go over the original one. If you need to redo this one, then I'm going to send a new one. So it won't be this one. It won't be the redo that I sent. It'll be a different one. But I want to go over this one to potentially answer any questions you have. But also, you'll have this video. If you need to go back and look at stuff, write notes down, whatever, to help you with. This will be the last one that I do, because this was the first. I did a redo. I'm going to send one Tuesday, and then that will be the last one. So this is the last chance you got to get this stuff. Okay, so this is rotations, reflections, and translations. It's about the transformations. So this one is asking about rotations. So if you had your packet, when you did this, you should go back. It says you rotate ABCD 180 degrees about the origin, which is all these rules. So my 180 degree rule is XY turns into negative X, negative Y. Right? XY turns into negative X, negative Y. So we'll just write that down. Every XY in my pre-image, this is ABCD, turns into negative X, negative Y. That's the 180 degree rule. So this example wants to know about point A. So what would A prime be? A prime means I'm moving A, the original A, and what would be the image? So this is the pre-image. What would be the image? So 180 degrees is going to be somewhere in this area. Remember, we talked about every time you move 90 degrees, you move a quadrant, and we're going counterclockwise. So this would be a 90 degree rotation. All the coordinates will be in this point. This is 180. All the coordinates will be in this quadrant. So this is X is negative, Y is negative. Okay, so right now, if I just know that X has to be negative and Y has to be negative, so these two are out. This says negative 5, 5. That's wrong. Y would have to be negative. This says negative 5, 3. That's wrong. Okay, so I should know it's going to be this one, because this is negative 3, 3. So this is what I was trying to tell you in class. If nothing else, if you just understand rotations go a quadrant every 90 degrees, you can just come up with this answer. So this answer is this one. But here's why. Because this coordinate A is 3, 5. So based on this rule, 3 is X, 5 is Y. All I do is I switch these signs. This is the 180 degree rule. So this turns into negative 3, negative 5, which is going to be my answer. Okay, so that's why it is what it is. But ABCD questions, take advantage of ABCD questions, eliminate some that you know are not the right answer. And a lot of times you can just find the answer based on that. Okay, the next one says 90 degrees. So counterclockwise, which is what all these rules are, 90 degrees, it still wants to know about A. Okay, A is still 3, 5. Now, this is the same diagram. But now it wants to know 90. So 90 counterclockwise is going to be in this quadrant, where X's are negative and Y's are positive. So I need a negative X, negative whatever, and a positive Y. So negative 5, 5 could be a potential answer. Negative 5, 3 could be a potential answer. Negative 3, positive 3 could be a potential answer, because on all three of those, the X is negative and the Y is positive. Okay, and this is negative 3, 5. So all four of those could be potential answers. But the 90 degree rule says XY turns into negative YX. All right, we're just going to copy that down, negative YX. Let's go back to our question. 3, 5 rotated 90 degrees, negative yx. So the y is 5 now. Y is 5. Well, that's negative y, so that's negative 5. And the x is 3, and that's all it wants there. So negative 5, 3 is going to be my answer to that one. Negative 5, 3. Okay, so those are your rotation rules. On this particular test, there were no 270-degree rules, rotations. But if you did, this would be your rule for 270, if you did. Okay, that's in your packet. But you also, again, have this video. You can go back and look at those. Okay? All right, that is just a rotation, counterclockwise rotation. It's not an angle. That makes no sense to cat vertex. A dilation would make it smaller or bigger. And we haven't even talked about that yet. So that's just a rotation. Now this one's a translation. So if you translated x 3 units, all right, this is what this means, x 3 units, the left and 2 units down. Determine x prime would be if you translated x 3 units to the left and 2 units down. Okay, 3 units to the left. We're taking x. 1, 2, 3 left and 2 down. That would be the new x prime. So negative 4, 2. Negative 4, 2 is here. This is actually a mistake. I don't know why they did that. I'll go back. If you did do 9, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, this would be negative 4, negative 5, which is not even a choice. Okay? So that was a mistake on their part. But read the question. That's the one you're answering. Okay, this is just, this would be in your packet. Transformation, once your graph picked up and moved, the moved should be the key word without any change in size or direction. That's just a simple translation. Okay, now the rest of these, except dilation, dilation would change the size, but your key word here is move. If you're just moving, then you're translating. Okay, if the dotted figure is the image, vocabulary, pre-image and image, the original image, which would be the bold one, this is the pre-image and this is the image, would be a reflection across the X. Remember reflections, right? If this is 2 units away from that line of reflection and this is 2 units, then that is a line of reflection. So, and this is the X-axis. So that would be a reflection across the X. Okay, again, you can zoom in on these. It's going to be hard to see, but the biggest thing on this one is make sure, right, all these are XYZ or WXYZ reflecting across the X. So XYZ, no matter where your pre-image and image is, this is not a reflection. This will be a rotation. So that's wrong. This potentially could be, this, if anything, would be a reflection across the Y going this way. And this one could be. So I could compare these two. And even if I didn't know which one was WXYZ and which one was W prime, X prime, Y prime, and Z prime, I still should know that those are reflections right there. These would not be a reflection. So that should be C. Okay, now I got a point. So reflective point, 2, negative 4 over the y-axis. So if you go to your packet, and look at your reflection rules. Reflect across the y means keep the y, so y is going to be y. Change the x. That's your reflection rule for y-axis. So this case, 2, negative 4, 2 is x, negative 4 is y. Well, we keep the y, which tells you that's the answer. Because that y is 2, that y is positive 4, and that y is positive 4. So that is the answer. But change your x, keep your y. So that 2 is now going to be negative 2. So that would be your answer for reflection across the y. So this says reflection across the x. Now I want you to know specifically k prime. So reflection across the x. Here's the rule for reflection across the x. X stays the same and you change the y. So if you want to do with coordinates, you could do it with coordinates. So this coordinate is 1, 2, 3, 4. This is 1, negative 4. If you wanted to do it this way, you wouldn't have to do it this way, but you could. X stays the same. So x is negative 1. Change the y, so that 4 turns into negative 4. Sorry, that's wrong. This is positive 1. Positive 1, negative 4. So keep the x, change the y. So negative 4 turns into positive 4. So you could do it that way, or what you probably did from Khan Academy was, okay, line of reflection is the x. This is 1, 2, 3, 4 down from the line of reflection, and you would go 4 up from the line of reflection, and that is my new k prime. And I find the coordinate of that, and the coordinate of that is 1, 4. So there's your answer, 1, 4. So multiple ways to do that one. Most of you are probably going to count because you do have a graph. So a slide is the same thing as move. So if you're sliding, you're just translating. Okay, sometimes it's called a glide, same thing. Okay, now this is not so important for this question, but you see how this is your pre-image, ABC, and this is my image. Now, if it was a translation, this is where some people messed up because some are like, well, it looks the same. If this was a translation, this would be ABC in that same order down here. So if this was a translation, that should be A, and that should be B, and this should be C. And you see it's not. That's C prime. So what that tells you is that is a reflection. Okay, how do you know? Well, C is 1 unit away, or 1 box away from your x-axis, and C is 1 box away from your x-axis. You do the same thing to A. That's 1, 2, 3, 4 away. Let's say your x-axis is the line of reflection. 1, 2, 3, 4 away there. And the same thing happens to B. That's 3 away. I go 3 up, and I go 3 down. So that's a telltale sign that that is a reflection. Again, not a translation because the letters are not in the same order. Could it be a rotation? Yes, but again, look at your coordinates and kind of go with that. So that would be a reflection across the x. All right, the point that is to be transformed. This goes back to vocabulary. Pre-image and image. There is no post-image. So the point that is to be transformed is the pre-image. I transform that to get the image. So read that direction carefully. Okay, so I got QRS. There's my coordinates for QR and S reflected across the Y. Again, your Y axis rule. Keep the Y. Change the X. It wants to know what S prime would be. So S is 3, 7. So X is 3, Y is 7. So based on the reflect across the Y-axis rule, Y stays the same. That would be 7, and 3 turns into -3. So -3, 7. That would be your answer. Okay. There was quite a few of these on this test, so that's why I did this one, to give you plenty of examples to go by to get you help on the other one. So this one is a translation. We're taking 7, 2. Now, vertically is going up. I know vertical is up and down, but vertically, it's talking about up. And horizontally, -5, that actually means left. That should make sense. -5, I'm going to the left. You could kind of, some people could visualize this. All right, if I'm at 7, 2, and I go up 2 and left 5, where would I be? Some of you can visualize that. If you need a graph, draw a graph. Algebra-wise, this is what it means. So if I go left 5, that's X minus 5. If I go up 2, that's Y plus 2. So that's the rule. Well, if XY is 7, 2, and I plug that in, 7 is X, 2 is Y. That says left 5, up 2, so 7 minus 5, I got 2. 2 plus 2 is 4, so your answer would be 2, 4. Now, if you can visualize that without doing all that, go for it. But there's how you would kind of do it on paper if you chose not to graph it. Okay, this one. The big thing on this one is make sure you're going from pre-image to image. So pre-image is the lot one, right? That's the A, B, C, the regular A, B, C, and this is your A prime, B prime, C prime. So I'm going from the light one to the dark one. Let's just choose B. We'll choose B. So B to B prime, I'm going up 3, left 2. And I'm doing the same thing to A, going up 3, left 2, same thing to C. So all you got to do is take one of them. So up 3, left 2. Left 2 is telling you X minus 2. Up 3 is telling you Y plus 3. All right, now that's your answer there. Make sure you go from the right one to the right one, pre-image to image. Okay, this is a reflex question. Not totally important for this question, but you need to know this is GF and X. That's reflected here to get the image. So reflected across the Y. A turn, remember translation is a slide or a move or a glide, sometimes it's called. A reflection would be called a flip, but a rotation would be called a turn. All three of these are transformations, so that's probably not going to be your answer there. Again, the order of the coordinates or the points is important. So here I have, again, I'm going pre-image is the blue, image is the red. So if I go around, I guess you call it the moon, A, B, and then C's at the bottom. This goes in the same order, A, B, C at the bottom. That tells you it's a translation. Okay, and then I have to count because the question, I have two of them that say translate. That's where I got to be able to go from pre-image B. Let's go B to B prime. I'm going from the blue to the red. So that's up 1 and left 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So whichever one says up 1, left 5, and I think it's this one because that says right 5. So be careful with that. Again, this is not going to be your test, but you're going to have questions like this on your test. Okay. Again, if you can visualize this without writing it, then go for it. Translation, again, we're just moving 3 down and 5 to the right. 5 to the right is saying x plus 5. 3 down is telling you y minus 3. So if your coordinate is negative 4, 1, so x is negative 4, y is 1. Because we go to the right 5, we're adding negative 4 plus 5. And because we're going 3 down, that's going to be 1 minus 3. And then we calculate that. Negative 4 plus 5, that's 1. 1 minus 3, negative 2. So it should be that. I am going kind of fast, but again, this is a video that you can pause or go back and watch. Okay, so this is kind of tricky. You got to pay attention to what's going on. Again, you can blow it up if the screen's too small. It says triangle C is rotated 180 degrees counterclockwise with the origin as the center, which is the rules. It always assumes counterclockwise at the origin. Which rule describes this transformation? So all this is going back to your notes. The 180 degree rule says this: xy turns into negative x, negative y. So you had that answer. There's really no math involved. You should have it in front of you. If you don't, write it down. This is a video. Write it down. Use it for the new test. All right, last one. Again, the big thing here, make sure you're going from pre-image, which in this case is the blue. That's the regular ABC, to the pink, red, whatever you want to call it, A prime, B prime, C prime. So I'm going, let's go from B to B. I'm going right 2. All right, right 2 is saying x plus 2. So I'm going right 2, and I'm going down 1. So down 1 would mean y minus 1. All right, there's your answer there. All right, so that should cover everything with rotations, reflections, and translations. So if you need to redo the test, watch this, take notes on it, whatever. Use it to help you because this is basically the last test of this 9 weeks. Okay, I'm going to post it, and hopefully some of you watch it, and then the Zoom meeting, maybe you got questions. Okay, thank you.